Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Ghost in Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about armor-piercing rounds. These are very similar to FMJ from previous Call of Duty games. There are a lot of myths about them, especially since they do a few more new things here in Call of Duty Ghosts. The gameplay that you're going to see is me using mostly light machine guns with AP rounds, trying to go for wallbangs, but generally just killing people and surviving, because if I tried to do a wallbang only gameplay, that would probably take all day. But let's quit blabbing about the gameplay and jump right into some of the facts and the testing about the AP rounds. First of all, armor piercing does not increase damage. Funny thing about this, the reason that there isn't in depth was back in MW2, I was arguing with some friends about FMJ. Everybody believed that FMJ increased damage when it did not, and me proving that it did not eventually turned into a video that turned into a series that turned into in-depth. But it's essentially the same as FMJ from back in the day. It did not increase damage then, it does not increase damage now. It also doesn't change the range, cancel out the silencer penalty, or change the body multipliers, or really anything like that. And I'm going to offer you some proof, so let's skip straight to some testing here. This is me hanging out with J-Hub. I set the health at half, so he has exactly 50 health, and I'm using the Remington R5, which deals 49 damage per shot in close quarters combat. This is my normal one, so if I shoot him in the chest, he will live and have 1 hit point, and of course that's exactly what happened, so I'll knife him, and we'll try the test again with the Remington R5, and this one has the FMJ, the AP rounds attachment, armor piercing, so if it does even 1 more point of damage, he would have died. However, he survived the shot. You can repeat this with any weapon at any range, and you'll see that it has the exact same amount of shots to kill on any health mode, on any setting, on anything with AP rounds, and many of you will probably tell me that it feels better, that I feel like I get more one-shot kills, and I'm going to tell you what you're feeling is probably the placebo effect in action, and my challenge to you would be to prove to me that they do more damage, because I did actually watch some other YouTubers' videos before I made this one. I think I watched Noah J's video and a couple other people, and they came to the same conclusions that I did, and I tested this out when the game was sort of pre-released before all the patches, so it didn't get patched in with extra damage. So while the AP rounds don't necessarily increase damage, that doesn't mean they're not useful. They do other things that, while not directly increasing your damage, can cause you to kill people faster. Number one is that AP rounds ignore ballistic vest protection. We went over this in the ballistic vest episode, but if you have AP rounds on your gun and you shoot somebody, it completely and totally ignores the effect of the ballistic vest. You can check this out in my ballistic vest episode, but I've got a short test right here for you with the 44 mag, and if you shoot somebody in the chest with the 44 mag when they're wearing ballistic vests, it's a 2-shot kill because it's an extremely high damage weapon. The first shot's going to chew through the vest and the second shot's going to kill. This one is the 44 mag with AP rounds, going to shoot him in approximately the same spot. He had ballistic vest there, but I didn't even get the ballistic vest hit marker. It just completely and totally ignored the effect of the ballistic vest. That happens on every gun, every situation. Again, if you would like to test it out or go see some more tests, I have some in my videos, and it's pretty simple to do. Next up, the AP rounds double your damage against kill streaks, kind of like previous Call of Duty games with FMJ and all that sort of stuff. Armor-piercing rounds allow you to kill streaks much, much faster. I've got some testing here for you that backs this up. Now, it's not exactly double on every kill streak, but what you will see from these tests is that the AP rounds do kill particular kill streaks much, much faster. This is my normal gun, and it took, let's see, 24, 18, about 16 to 15 shots to kill. This is my one with AP rounds, and I'm going to kill this thing very, very quickly. I think I only used 5 or 6 shots. However, when it comes to the Juggernaut, it's not quite as effective as strong, but it does kill the Juggernaut much quicker. You can see, I know I'm not going to be able to kill him in the first clip, so I just hose into him, and the second one I'm more or less going to try to stop when I run out of bullets. Fired a few extra, but you can definitely see here I'm going to shoot slower when I have the AP rounds on. I'm still getting that armored hit marker, but in less than 1 magazine, I am going to kill the Juggernaut. I tested this on all the kill streaks that were, well, stationary or controllable, and it seemed to be approximately half. They had some variations because of the range or the amount of damage my gun does, or some rounding problems when you deal with armor, because it's funny. However, I was not able to test the dogs because the dogs run all over the map and they chase me, and I could not consistently shoot them at any particular range and know exactly how much damage I was doing. So I would assume that you would be able to kill dogs faster with the AP rounds since they classify as a kill streak, but I was not able to test it in any sort of reliable manner. Next up, we'll talk about the most important factor of AP rounds, and that's wall penetration. Wall penetration in Ghost is primarily determined by 2 factors: angle of impact and weapon caliber. The more, let's say, perpendicular your bullet is, or path of your bullet to the wall, the more damage it's going to do. So if you perfectly face the wall to where it's flat in front of you and you shoot the wall, it's going to punch right through and deal its maximum damage on the other side. And the weapon caliber, there's like a sort of coefficient between your weapon caliber and the thickness of the wall, but generally speaking, bigger guns shoot through walls easier. The size of your weapon will allow you to, like, obviously a light machine gun is going to shoot through a wall more than a 9mm pistol, so something like that. And with your angle of impact, if you change it to like a 45-degree angle or a 30-degree angle, your bullet is less likely to go through the wall and it's more likely to deal less damage on the other side because it has to travel through more total wall, and it's sort of simulating the let's say ricochet effect, where if you shoot something at an impact, the bullet doesn't necessarily punch through like a laser, but it can bounce off. After a certain angle, it will no longer shoot through the wall. We're going to skip to some testing to prove this in a second, but what the AP rounds do is they basically increase your weapon caliber. It bumps it up another category. Even if you're at the top, you go to like a special category, and it reduces the effect of the angle to where you can still kill people very quickly at angles, and you actually get extra areas where you normally couldn't shoot. Like previously you couldn't shoot at a 30-degree angle, well now you can because you have AP rounds. So J-Hub's on the other side of the wall, and I'm using a regular K7 SMG. Yep, there's J-Hub. He's going to be my testing dummy today. And you'll see at what I would call maybe a 45 to 30 degree angle off that wall, I'm not even able to shoot through and get any sort of hit markers on him. And to be honest, this is a pretty thick wall that I chose to test on here. Even less of an angle, I'm still not able to punch through. And if I'm not mistaken in this test, I'm able to shoot just straight directly through the wall at a 0 degree or a 90 or whatever you want to call it, where the bullets are perpendicular to the wall. Got a little excited with the pistol and hit absolutely nothing. However, if I change my guns and I select a K7 and I put armor-piercing rounds on it, J-Hub basically hasn't moved, haven't hurt him, he hasn't had to move. I can shoot through the side and get some hit markers as long as I'm aiming correctly, and not going to kill him. I'm just going to reload, let his health come back, and yeah, I'm kind of missing him over here. But we're going to swap over to just shooting perpendicularly straight through the wall, and previously where I could not get any hit markers or punch through the wall, now I'm able to do so with the K7, and that's probably one of the better examples since it didn't really wallbang very good. Here with the light machine guns, you can see that I need 10 shots through the wall when I'm using normal LMG rounds, and that's more or less perpendicular. We'll go for like a 45-degree angle here. And you'll see that I again need about 10 shots. The difference in angles isn't too extreme because it's such a high caliber and high damage weapon that the reduction is very minimal. However, at an angle more like this, it's kind of difficult. It was actually difficult to even find the target, mind you, but it takes a whole ton of shots to kill J-Hub. We're just going to keep on shooting for a little bit, and I guess he'll die eventually. My damage on the other side of the wall is so low. I haven't monkeyed with the health at all. This is just normal. This is how low it can be reduced. I mean, you can be dealing like 5, 4, 3 damage on the other side of the wall, something like that. And I'll do one more here at the craziest angle that I can come up with, and I can't even get hit markers on him because my bullet isn't really punching through the wall at this angle. However, if we were to change over to another LMG, same one, matter of fact, with AP rounds, I can kill people very quickly. I think that was about 3 or 4 hit markers at that particular angle. I missed a little bit. And I can also come at the crazy angle where I was previously able to shoot nothing and get quite a few hit markers and kill him, we'll say, relatively quickly considering the angle and the damage and all that. And that's what AP rounds do. They let you do things like that. Another commonly asked question or complaint or sort of counterpoint is, well, you have to be doing more damage if on the other side of the wall you're dealing more damage. Like, would it be something like when you hit the wall your bullet gains damage, and then on the other side of the wall, like you could shoot the wall doing 50 damage and it comes out on the other side doing 55 or something like that? And that's not true. The walls are sort of, imagine if the wall, that particular wall, is like, okay, 0.75 multiplier or 75% damage, so when you shoot you only get 75% of the damage on the other side. Or we'll do 50%, we'll do it easier, like it's a 50% wall, so on the other side I'm only dealing 25 damage at whatever particular shot. The AP rounds don't. It's like, okay, we've impacted the wall, it's time to jack up the damage. What they do is they actually change that little coefficient to where instead of like 25% damage, it'd be like, okay, we're going to hit the wall and it's going to deal 90% damage, so it's 45 on the other side of the wall, something like that. You're not actually boosting your damage in any kind of way. Another important thing to note, AP rounds do not shoot through riot shields. Another pretty popular myth and misconception is that you can punch through riot shields with AP rounds. This is absolutely not true. The shield will block pretty much everything, and I don't know of a way to break the shield either. At the end of the day, I feel like AP rounds are more of a specialty attachment and not a go-to attachment. Most people only use AP rounds because they feel that it gives them more damage because the little stat bar on the game says it gives you more damage. And the stat bar is somewhat deceptive. It's usually not telling you the truth, but rather a representative truth. It'll often feel like you do more damage because you won't have to deal with baby vest and you can wallbang people and clip them around corners easier, which is what I found to be the most useful with AP rounds, is just clipping people around corners. Like when the guy's like running and just going to squeak past that door. On a normal gun, you might hit the door and the bullets don't go through, but with AP rounds, you'll follow him past the door and be able to hose him around the corner and get a kill. And because of that, a lot of times it feels like you're dealing more damage and you're killing people quickly when they're really not. They don't cancel out silencers. Many players I see run silencers and AP rounds, and I know that they're thinking, haha, I will cancel out my silencer reduction with the armor-piercing rounds. I am a brilliant player, and it's not true. It's just I feel kind of bad when I get killed by people that do that. I feel like I got killed by the derp squad, but they are useful. Pros use them a lot for wallbanging. I use them on my light machine guns to wallbang. A few of the assault rifles they're viable on. I have an anti-Killstreak class. Whenever they're dropping little satcoms everywhere or there's lots of air support or something that I don't like, I use them on light machine gun, mind you. It's a chainsaw. I break out my anti-Killstreak class and just hose the kill streaks and kill them very, very quickly. Matter of fact, a light machine gun with AP rounds is probably the absolute fastest and best way to take down kill streaks in this entire game, except maybe a ground jammer that more or less cleans out everything. And that's it with AP rounds. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. My previous videos on shotgun slugs, my next one's going to be on the K7 submachine gun. I've got a lot of sponsored links down there in the description. Matter of fact, I've got one from Gamma Labs today, 50% off, and a contest, a sort of giveaway that they have going on, so I'd appreciate if you check that out. And as always, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.